If you own a luxury home on Whidbey Island and you've been wondering whether now is the right time to sell, this video is going to give you something most agents won't: the actual data. Not a gut feeling, not a generic market update, the numbers that are specific to the Whidbey luxury sector and what they actually tell us about timing your sale. Because here's what I found after working in this market. The conventional wisdom about when to sell a luxury home on Whidbey, it's often wrong, and that misalignment can cost sellers tens of thousands of dollars or leave them sitting on the market far longer than they needed to. Stay with me, this one's worth your time. Before we get into the data, I want to take a quick second to say, if you're already thinking about making a move, whether that's selling your home here on Whidbey or buying your next one, my contact information is right here in the description below. Every single week, people reach out to me at this stage. They're researching, they're thinking it through, and they just want to have a real conversation with someone who actually knows this market. That's exactly what I'm here for. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with something that I think is really important to establish before we talk about anything at all. Whidbey Island's luxury real estate market is not the same as luxury on the mainland. It is not the same as East Side Seattle luxury. It is not Bellevue. It is not Kirkland. And it absolutely cannot be analyzed through those same lenses. Whidbey luxury buyers are a specific kind of buyer. Many of them are coming from out of the area. They've made their money elsewhere. They've been to the island before. They fell in love with it, and now they want their own piece of it. That is a very different buyer psychology than someone relocating to a suburb or upgrading within the same metro area. Understanding who is buying is the very first step to understanding when they are most likely to buy. And when we talk about Whidbey luxury, we also have to be very clear about where on Whidbey, because North and South Whidbey, two completely different markets. And I mean that in almost every sense of the word. South Whidbey, places like Langley, Freeland, Greenbank, tends to attract a buyer who is often drawn to the arts, the community feel, the farm-to-table lifestyle. There's a creative, progressive energy in the South End, and the luxury product down there tends to reflect that. Architectural homes, land, privacy, views. The buyers are frequently coming from Seattle or the surrounding metro area, and the ferry route plays a big role in their decision-making. North Whidbey, Oak Harbor, and the surrounding areas has a very different energy and therefore a different buyer. You have the influence of NAS Whidbey Island, which drives a portion of the market in ways that are totally unique to this area. You also have buyers who are drawn to the boating lifestyle, the Deception Pass proximity, and the different set of lifestyle priorities altogether. What this means for timing is that what works on one part of the island may not work in the other. A strategy built for a South Whidbey luxury listing can look very different from one built for the North End. And if your agent doesn't know the difference, that's a problem. Now, here's where I want to spend some real time, because this is where most sellers get misled, even by well-intentioned agents. There's a common piece of advice that gets passed around in real estate: list in the summer, because that's when homes show their best. The light is beautiful, the gardens are in bloom, the views are at their peak, and on the surface, that sounds completely logical. On Whidbey especially, summer is stunning. Who wouldn't want to buy a home when the skies are blue and the lavender's blooming? But when I go back through the market data for the Whidbey luxury sector, and I'm talking about homes at the price points that qualify as true luxury here, the story the numbers tell is more nuanced than that. Listing volume and listing timing don't always align with when the strongest offers come in or when the best price to list ratios happen. I'm intentional about not giving away every detail in a YouTube video. That's what a real consultation is for. But what I will tell you is this: if you're making a decision about when to list your luxury home based solely on conventional seasonal wisdom, you may be leaving real money on the table. The data in this specific market tells a very different story, and it's one of the most valuable things I bring to my sellers. So, how do you know if right now is the right time for you specifically? There are really a few layers to that question, and I think it's worth breaking them apart. The first layer is your personal situation. What is driving the potential sale? Is there a life event, a relocation, a retirement, a change in family needs? Or is this more of a strategic decision where you want to maximize value? Those two scenarios can actually lead to different recommendations, even in the same market conditions. The second layer is inventory. In the Whidbey luxury sector, we're not dealing with the same inventory volume you'd see in a high-density urban market. There are far fewer comparable properties, which means that supply and demand dynamics here can shift meaningfully based on just a handful of new listings. When I'm advising a seller, I'm watching inventory levels closely because being one of 3 luxury listings is a very different position than being one of 12. And the third layer, and this is the one that requires real expertise, is buyer activity. Where are buyers coming from right now? What are they responding to? What's the absorption rate at the luxury price point? These are the questions that tell us whether the market has momentum for sellers right now or whether patience is the smarter play. I want to be direct about something because I think it matters. The luxury market on Whidbey Island requires a level of specialization that a general real estate agent, even a good one, may not be positioned to deliver. It's not a criticism by any means, it's just math. If an agent is selling a wide range of price points across multiple markets, they don't have the same depth of insight into the Whidbey luxury sector specifically. They may not know which buyer pools are the most active right now. They may not know the nuances of how North versus South Whidbey perform differently at luxury price points. They may be advising you based on what they've heard rather than what the data actually shows. What I do and what I've built my practice around is going deep on this market. I track the data. I know where the buyers are coming from. I know what motivates them, and I know how to position a luxury property so that it speaks to the right audiences at the right time. If you own a luxury home on Whidbey and you're even casually entertaining the idea of selling, the most valuable thing I can offer you is a data-driven, honest assessment of where the market is right now and what it means for your specific property. Not a cheerleader pitch, the real picture. Without going into every proprietary detail, here are a few general signals that I watch and that you should be aware of when trying to read the luxury market. When homes are sitting, that tells you something. When they're moving, that tells you something different. You want to understand the direction of that trend, not just the snapshot. Price reduction frequency is another one. If you're seeing a pattern of luxury listings taking price cuts before finding a buyer, that's important context for how you price and time your own listing. Closed sale ratios, meaning what percentage of list price sellers are actually achieving, are one of the most telling metrics at the luxury level because luxury buyers are sophisticated negotiators. And finally, new listing absorption. How quickly are new luxury listings getting absorbed into the market versus sitting? Those numbers looked at together paint a real picture of where the market is and what direction it's heading. The bottom line is this: timing your luxury sale on Whidbey Island should never be a guess. It should be a strategy built on data, built on local knowledge, and built around your specific goals. If you're seriously considering buying a luxury home on Whidbey Island, you're going to want to watch this next. Should you buy a luxury home on Whidbey Island right now? May 2026 market data breakdown. I go deep on exactly what the current numbers mean for buyers in this market, and it will give you a much clearer picture of where things stand right now. That video is linked right here. And if you have questions about this market, about your specific situation, about whether now makes sense for you, I want to hear from you. The best way to reach me is through the Calendly link right down there in the description below. You can grab a time directly on my calendar and we'll have a real conversation about what your next move looks like. No pressure, no pitch, just honest answers from someone who knows this market inside and out. I'll see you there.